Hey, what's going on guys? Jolts here, back with another build video, and today we're going to be going over Gladiator Amara. This has to be one of the most insane melee builds I've ever made. Why, you may ask? Well, each melee will hit for over 1 billion damage. 1 billion, yeah. Also, it doesn't use Tie Set Bind, a very popular choice for many Amara builds. Instead, we're going to be focusing on phase cast. Now, the thing that makes this melee build so good is the new class mod we got in DLC 4, and that is called the Muse class mod. If you do want to learn how to get that class mod, I just recently posted a video on how to get all the class mods for this DLC, so I would recommend checking that out. So if you want to download the save for yourself, I will link it down in the description. This save will be in PC format, so again, sorry console players. At this point in time, there's no way to convert from PC to console for game saves. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the build. Okay, so what you need for the build at the bare minimum is a Muse comm and a static charge. That's pretty much it. All this other stuff is optional, but it will help boost damage if you have these. Let me show you what I mean with this combo. Alright, so we're over here on Athena's, and you can see here I have a Muse comm and static charge and nothing else. So we're going to punch this guy in the face. And yeah, as you can see here, things die, and it's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's a chain of damage happening here, which I will explain very shortly. As for the other stuff for the build, which, you know, you don't super need, but it would help if you have it, you want to find a 390 annoying melee weapon. Ideally, one that has 80 or 120% melee on it. I got this one when doing my melee Amara playthrough, and you can see there it's level 22. But it doesn't matter, we're only using it for melee, so level does not matter at all. So this weapon is going to be used on your first melee hit for any enemy. That will chain the Muse class mod, the static charge, and a few other things. Now, if for some reason the enemy doesn't die in one hit for, I don't know, a bad chain or something, the next best option is going to be a melee annoyance like this. Now again, you can use any melee weapon you want to, just look for the right annoyance on it. You have many options like the Lanoge, or the Hydra Frost, the Psycho Stabber, even non-unique pistols too. It is your choice. Now we have the Face Puncher, and I'm not a huge fan of this weapon because it doesn't really feel like melee, even though it shoots melee. But some enemies are out of reach or, you know, fly around, so you want to make sure you can hit them. For the launcher, you can use whatever you want. I have the Major Kong, which you can get from DLC 4 or, you know, Krieg DLC. But you can use whatever you want, you know, Backburner, Plague Bearer, whatever. It's only going to be used for second wins. Now, this launcher is fairly new, so if you want to learn how to get it, I will have an item guide up later today on it. For your shield, you can use whatever you want. I have a Stinger shield, you can use like the Brawler Ward or the Golden Touch, whatever you want. Again, most of my damage is coming from the chain, so this is only like a secondary source of damage. For the grenade, there's not really a whole lot of good choices for a melee build other than the Fish Slap. You can also use the P-Nade too if you want to, you know, debuff enemies by 20%. Your grenade choice is really up to you. The Muse class mod. We just got this thing in DLC 4, and it's insane. You can see there it actually boosts Illuminated Fist by 3, even though it's a 1-point skill. Yeah, this is the first of its kind doing it for 1-point skills, and this thing is a monster. Now, these skills are not the main source of damage, no. It's what this class mod actually does. So, when you melee an enemy, you spawn a homing melee projectile. That projectile is going to home into a nearby enemy and do insane damage. Now, why is it insane, you might ask? Well, melee scaling. Yeah. So you melee the enemy, it spawns the projectile, that gets Mayhem scaled again, that will kill an enemy, activate the static charge, kill that enemy, because it's, you know, it's based on melee damage, spawn your ball of remnant for overkill damage, that will go out and overkill an enemy, and then activate your groundbreaker, which is going to be pretty much billions of damage. Yeah, I don't know if you guys followed along, but basically, chain, lots of damage. And finally, for the main setup, we have a static charge. This artifact is actually underrated for a melee build, so you're going to return 50% of shock damage from your melee you did. So when your melee is doing billions of damage, you can deliver, you know, 500 million back in shock damage. And that will chain to nearby enemies and take them out in one shot. That is why you saw everything dying in one shot around me in the intro. Ideally, you want to get yourself a knife drain version so you can heal, because we're actually going to be ignoring the sustainment skill in the skill tree, because I went for all the damage instead. I don't want to spec all the way down this tree just to get some healing. When I can get it on a artifact. We have another Stinger shield, we have a stopgap, which is good for survivability, but again, you're going to be healing, so you don't super need that. P-Nade if you want to debuff the enemy, and Knife Drain White Elephant for bossing. Now, if you're in a 1v1 situation and you don't have enemies nearby, that means you can't chain them with the Muse comm or the static charge or anything like that. So having a White Elephant for bossing is going to be really good for you. We have the Unleash the Dragon, and this is pretty much only for bossing too, because enemies are going to be dying in one hit, as long as you're chaining them. But if you can't chain them, you can burn them away too if you want to. And finally, a cut purse just for regenerating ammo, and that's only going to be for my launcher if I need that, because we're going to be focused on a melee setup. Alright, that's all the gears, so let's quickly go over the build. For the orange tree, we have 5 on anima to extend our status effect duration, and we don't super need this, but we gotta move down the tree, because these two will actually boost your melee damage. You're getting elemental damage 30%, shock damage 20%, and then with 4 out of 1 on the skill, 300% melee damage. Yeah, that's a good amount. Also, that's gonna make our melee damage attuned to our element too. And for the build, we can attune to fire, shock, and of course, corrosive, so all the elements we need. For the green tree, we have our melee skills, so find your center and blitz for 200% melee damage total. Everything else is for, max HP, damage reduction. We got some speed here. Action skill damage is nice too, not always that bad. And easy second wins for Guardian Angel in case you screw up. For the blue tree, there's a few things we got here. So we have Do Harm for increasing our phase cast damage, Fast Hands for swapping weapons fast. We don't super need this, but we gotta move down the tree. Relentless for cooldown, or sorry, Restless, not Relentless. Ascendant for healing, which we don't super need, but we gotta move down the tree. Because again, we have the knife drain. Laid Bare for debuffing the enemy, that's pretty nice. From Rest, just for the face puncher, we don't super need it. That's only for gun damage. Boosting our stacks of rush, that's nice. 1 point remnant to chain the overkill for easy one-shot kills. And Avatar for double cast on face cast. For the augment, reverberation is nice for one-shotting your enemies with face cast. And like I said before, the soul sap isn't needed because we have the knife drain. And otherwise, you just attune to your element you need, and you are good to go. As for the modifiers, we have Slayer, Mob Mentality, Ticked Off, and Roguelite. And now, let's go ahead and show it off. So again, this build is so easy to use, anybody can use it. So we can cast and get our one-shot kills. And now we can go for a melee, except most of these enemies are already dead from the demonstration earlier. So we poke you, you're dead. Remnant Ball, 59 million. There's nobody to chain nearby. Let's do it again, so poke you. Yeah, 20 million. Also, I should mention too that the static charge, you gotta slide to build up the static electricity. You don't even need to do that. You're doing so much damage that there's really no point to really do it. But if you want to build it to a max bonus, you gotta slide, I think, about 4 times to get max bonus. Alright, so we have a lot of enemies right here. Let's cast you. And yeah, one-shot kill, the ball goes out. Let's poke you. And no chains happen, nobody nearby. Let's poke you in the face. You see the static chain one over there. Give that. Chain happens. Yeah, you can see there we did not see a damage number. That is because we hit over 1 billion damage. 1 billion. And the game cannot display that because it's way too high. And that billions of damage got carried over to a Remnant Ball, which is going to one-shot anything else. And after Remnant one-shots something, we can deliver that damage again with the Groundbreaker skill. Alright, you... Yep, 839 million. The ball went out, except, he's already dead. Yeah, you can see what I mean. This class mod is insane. Okay, all these guys. Chain that, ball goes out. Yeah, he died. So you just poke one enemy and everything around them dies. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and take on a boss. After I kill a few more enemies. This is fun, okay? Alright, that. Dude over here. Yeah, it's coming over. So that would have been 1 billion damage. Didn't show a damage number. And we deliver it again with the Groundbreaker for an easy one-shot. Alright, now for Trant, so he resists fire. Let's go ahead and put on Shock. Take that off, now we have Shock. And we're also going to put on the White Elephant. So there we go. Because, one-on-one, we don't have any enemies to chain. Cast him once. Cast him again, why not? And start poking away. And oh, okay, White Elephant went off. Yeah, the White Elephant's damage is influenced by your melee, and when your melee is extremely high, well, he just kind of blows up. Like I mentioned before, some enemies are out of reach or, flying, so what you want to do is do Face Puncher and White Elephant, and we're attuned fire now, because he is weak to fire. So we're going to cast him, deliver the Laid Bare for, extra damage. And that terrible sound you're hearing is actually the knife drain. And easy kill. Well, I think you guys get the point now. So this build is pretty insane. Like I said, you chain the enemies and everything dies. There's no secret to it. You just need the Muse class mod, a static charge, remnant, and Groundbreaker. That easy. Anyways, like I said before, if you want to download the save for yourself, I will link it in the description. And again, that save is only for PC format, so do keep that in mind. And that should be it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course, if you did, then please be sure to leave a like, because that'd be awesome. And if you guys really enjoyed it, be sure to sub. You guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Peace out.